for today's practice, we're going to begin standing, and you'll need to have a block and a tennis ball. So if you just have those ready and pop them beside your mat. And as you're ready, you just come to a standing position, feet about hip width apart. And we're just going to take a moment to connect with our breath. So just start to deepen and slow your breath. Soft knees, soft shoulders. And start to follow the journey of your breath. As you inhale, you can feel your breath travels down into your belly, out into your ribs, and up into the top of your chest. And as you exhale, just feel these areas and maybe other parts of the body softening, dropping as the breath moves out. Full inhale in, belly, ribs, and chest. And then complete exhale out, every drop of air. And just take a few more breaths like this. And then start letting your breath become more natural. And as you're ready, we can open our eyes, and we're going to keep our left foot forward and step our right foot back. And I want us to bring the top of our foot, top of our toes to the ground. If this feels a bit tender, draw your foot more forward, make it very light on the mat. You can have a bend in your knee. If you want to feel a bit more sensation, you can step the foot further back, straighten out the leg, and even add a little bit more push into the ground. So we're just looking for this feeling of lengthening through the toes, the front of the ankle, maybe up into the shin. Once you've found the right position, we can start to raise our right arm up into the air. And you can either just lengthen that arm up from the shoulder blade, where you feel this lifting, or if you want to extend it, you can start to let the arm drop back a little bit. So we feel the whole front right side of the body is long. Just take a couple of breaths there. And we take one more inhale. As we exhale, we're going to move into balance. We're going to lower our right arm, pick up our right foot. If there's space, we're catching the back of the foot. If that feels out of reach, you can take your legging, you can use a strap, you can do this with the foot against the walls. There's lots of variations. And as we begin here, I want us to feel the knee is lengthening downward. We feel this sensation of length in the front of the thigh. And it may be enough to just stay with this balance, feeling that length, that drop. I'm going to turn to the side to show you the next part of the posture. So from here, if you like, we can move into our dancer's pose to start opening into the heart and chest area. We can begin to send the left arm forward and press the right foot into the right hand and the right hand into the right foot. So we create this opposition between the hand and the foot. And at the same time, there's a sense of opposition between the left fingertips reaching forward and the right foot moving back behind us. It's almost like there's an equal and opposite lengthening forward and back. And we breathe here. We try to keep this right hip moving a little forward, so we get that length through the front right of the body. We're going to take one more inhale. And then as we exhale, we gently release out. Maybe have a little bit of a shake. And then we start to move over to the other side. So the right foot is grounded at the front and the left leg moves back. Top of the foot or top of the toes to the ground, either soft with the knee forward. We're making it a little bit deeper with the foot back, maybe a little pressure, this feeling of lengthening. On our next inhale, the left arm rises up. We either reach up from the shoulder through the arm to the fingers, or we let the arm move back, feeling the whole front left of the body long and breathing. On our next exhale, we're going to lower the left arm and raise the left foot. So we catch the foot or the trouser leg, taking whichever variation feels stable. And we start to feel that dropping in the left knee. We're looking for a feeling through the front of the left thigh that this muscle is lengthening. So I find it's also helpful to feel as though the left hip drops slightly as well. And we can sit here and focus on that lengthening, that stretch, the balance. That might be perfect. Or again, we have that option to move to dancer, where we begin to push the left hand into the left foot and we reach the right arm forward. So there's opposition between the hand and the foot. It's like the foot is kicking into the hand, at the same time the hand is catching and drawing the foot in. So you get an engagement. And the right fingertips lengthen forward as the left foot pushes back. Trying to keep the left hip a little forward and just breathing. One more inhale wherever you are. And then gently release. Again, have a little bit of a shake. And then we arrive back at the front of our mat with the feet about hip width apart. And I want us to close our eyes and start to come back to the breath. Find that depth in the inhale. The complete exhale out. And this time as we breathe, we feel on the inhale as the front of the body fills with air, there's a slight shift forward in our weight towards our toes. And as we exhale and the breath leaves, maybe feel a gentle dropping into your heels. Inhale, filling the front of the body with air, feel this slight shift forwards. And as you exhale and the breath leaves, that slight sinking into the heels. So we just find this gentle, natural rocking with the breath. And now we're going to turn our awareness to the area of our rib cage. As we inhale, this time we really feel the ribs widening outward in all directions. And as we exhale, we feel the ribs dropping, softening back to center. Inhaling into the rib cage, feeling it expanding outward, making space for the breath. And as we exhale, feeling it releasing back. And we can also notice that as we inhale and the ribs widen, the arms move very slightly away from the body. And as we exhale and the ribs soften, the arms gently move back. And on our next inhale, we're going to let the arms raise a little higher, like they were floating upward by themselves. As we exhale, they return to our sides. Inhale, feel them floating a little higher again. And exhale them back down. This time as we inhale, we're going to reach our arms all the way up over our head and find as much length as we can from the fingertips down to the feet. Just take a couple of breaths there, feeling this lengthening, both directions. We'll take one more inhale, really long. As we exhale, we're going to soften our knees and fold all the way forwards. Inhale, hands to shins. Lengthen the spine, look forwards at the gaze. As we exhale, we can step back with our right foot or our right knee. We're going to arrive, bringing the knees down to the ground, and we'll make our way down to the mat. We'll bring elbows beneath shoulders. And with the elbows beneath the shoulders, I want us to begin by exhaling and feel the belly draws in, gentle lift in the pelvic floor. And then we feel the bones of the pelvis, the pubic bone in particular, pressing into the ground, creating this strong foundation. From that foundation, we can use the inhale to start lengthening the spine forwards. We feel the heart, the chest opening forward between the shoulders. We want to deepen this feeling of expansion in the chest, the heart, the front of the body. We can lift the chin and even raise our gaze. Keep breathing, keep that engagement in the base, the core, press into the ground through the pubic bone. And then if we want to deepen it again, we can feel that the fingers and the elbows start to pull back a little bit on the ground towards us. One more inhale. And then exhale, soften down. We'll make our way back into our downward facing dog. So fingers spread wide, start to press into the ground through each fingertip, each thumb. Really use the strength of the fingers and the hands as we arrive up and back in our downward facing dog, beginning with the knees bent. With the knees bent, we can push through the fingers, start to send the hips back, find this length in our spine. We can begin now to let the legs become a little longer, maybe heels a bit heavier. You might want to walk it out. Try and keep that engagement in the fingers, feeling of length in the spine all the way to the crown of the head. So we can take a moment to just feel the back of our neck becomes a little longer, a little softer. And then on our next exhale, we can begin to walk or step our way forward as feels more comfortable to the front of our mat. As we arrive at the front of the mat, we inhale, hands to shins, lengthening the spine, looking forwards. Exhale, soft knees, folding. And then inhale, come back to standing, find that length for a moment. Exhaling to release. Inhale, reaching up, long fingers to the soles of the feet. As we exhale, we soften the knees, folding forward. Inhale, lengthen, look forward. Exhale, left foot or left knee leads this time to make our way back. And then we release the knees to the ground, make our way down to the mat. Again, begin elbows beneath shoulders, take that exhale, find the engagement. Belly draws in, pelvic floor gently lifts. Bones of the pelvis press into the ground. You feel that foundation, and then from there we're lifting, lengthening the spine forward, the heart and chest forward. We can raise our chin and our gaze. And if our back, our lower back, feels really quiet and comfortable, and we can keep the core strong, we can start to press into the fingers, into the hands, and lengthen the arms. Wherever you are, just take a couple of breaths. And then on your next exhale, soften down. We're going to make our way back to downward facing dog. Again, spread the fingers wide. Feel the strength of the fingers, the hands supporting the wrists, helping to push the hips back, lengthening all the way through the spine. And maybe you want to walk out the legs or pulse the heels a little bit just to soften into that back leg space. Just take any movements here that feel good for your body. And then on your next exhale, we can release our knees to the ground. And we're going to cross our right forearm over our mat and walk the left arm forwards. We come into a kind of half Anahasana, half melting heart pose. Forehead is going to come down to our right arm. If that feels a little bit far away, you can always use your block or a prop. And we reach the left arm, left fingertips forward, and we feel that the heart, the chest is melting down toward the ground. Hips stay high, and we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. Maybe feeling a nice opening through the left shoulder. We can feel that the hips and the lower part of the spine is lengthening up and back behind us. And the upper part of the spine, the chest, the shoulders, is lengthening forwards. then gently we're going to make our way up, walk the left hand back in. So we arrive in tabletop this time, the left arm crosses over and the right arm moves forwards. Forward comes down to the left arm. Again, hips stay up and high. And we just walk the right arm forward to wherever feels comfortable. And we feel this dropping, this melting through the heart, through the chest. Finding the breath. And maybe finding that feeling of the lower part of the spine lengthening back. And the other part of the spine lengthening forwards. And then on our next inhale, we'll gently make our way back to tabletop, and we're going to sit back onto our heels and come to child's pose for a few moments. So our weight is back towards our heels. Forward can come down to the ground. It can come to our block, a cushion, a bolster, whatever feels the most supportive to allow that sense of contact between your head and the ground beneath you. And just let your breath deepen here. So we find that feeling of the inhale moving down into the belly, the ribs, the chest. And that sense of softening, of dropping as we exhale out. Okay, now we're gently going to make our way up. And we're going to come lying on our belly. We're going to need our block and our tennis ball to hand. So just have them near you. And we're going to begin from our belly to reach our left arm out. We're going to take our block and place it under our head with our head facing away to the right side. You can do this without the block. I think it's more comfortable for me with the block, so you can always adjust and see how it feels. So left arm moves out, and we turn our head to face the opposite direction. With our head facing in the opposite direction, we're going to bring our right fingertips to the ground just in front of our face, about eye level. And we start to push the right hand into the ground to help us roll back onto our left side. So we're rolling back in the direction of this arm that's extending behind us. And it's quite a deep shoulder opener, so really just move to where it feels comfortable and where you can keep your breath full into the belly and smooth. So you may find that a little movement is enough. You might want to move quite far back. And if you're here and you're not feeling so much sensation, you want to make it deeper, then we can raise our top leg, our right leg, bend the knee, pointing the knee up to the ceiling, and then let the toes or the foot find the ground just behind you. That's just going to shift our weight a little bit further back, adding a little bit of hip opening as well. We're going to arrive back with the feeling of the breath, particularly that belly breath. Really find that sense of softening in the body, feeling the nervous system, it can calm down, become more relaxed. And then we're gently going to make our way back to the center. As we arrive in the center, this time the right arm reaches out. We rest the right side of our face on the block. So we're looking over to the left, away from the arm that's reaching out behind us. Left fingertips can come to the ground just in front of our eye line. And we're going to push into the left fingers or the left hand to roll ourselves back onto the right side of our body. So we're rolling back in the direction of the arm that's reaching out behind us. Can we just find that sweet spot? It can be really different from one side to the other, often with whether we're right or left-handed, or posture, different habits we can have with the body. And if you want to make it deeper, increase the sensation, we can lift the top leg, the left leg, bend the knee, point the knee toward the ceiling, and then let the toes or the foot find the ground behind us. And we just settle on the feeling of our breath. Taking a last couple of moments on this side. And then we'll gently start to return to the center. As we come to the center, we're going to remove the block out of the way, and we're going to take our tennis ball. It can also be a massage ball. We're going to be placing the ball under the right side of our jaw. I really love this one for releasing into this area. So we just rest our head down onto the tennis ball. We can take a moment to just let ourselves settle into that feeling. Allow the tissues to start to soften and relax. And as you're ready, you just start to find some gentle movements to soften into this muscle. Such a powerful muscle for its size, and it can store a lot of stress, a lot of tension for the body. And it's connected in with the neck and shoulders, hips. Even finding a connection there between the jaw and the balance as well. So it's a really nice one to release. You can alternate between movement and stillness, or stay with one or the other. Just take a few more moments to work into this side. One of the important things with this release with the ball is that we want it to stay within the range of what feels comfortable. So we want sensation, but no discomfort, no pain. So that the tissues here can really soften and relax. Sometimes it's a case of less is more. Or just take a last couple of moments. If you're doing this at home, you can always pause and take a little bit longer here if you want. Okay, and then we'll remove out the ball. Take a moment either resting the side of your face or your forehead on the ground. And just notice, observe any differences between the right and the left side. Maybe just in the jaw, or maybe extending your awareness down through the right and the left sides of your body. And then we'll move over to the other side. So we take the ball to the left side of our jaw. And we take a moment maybe to settle into the feeling. Again, can be different from one side to the other. And as we're ready, we just start to add some gentle movements. Again, staying within that range. There's maybe some sensation, but no discomfort and no pain. And just explore this whole area on the left side of the jaw. Movement with stillness, with the breath. Sometimes the changes that we notice are not just in the physical sensation of an area, but there's sometimes a change in the feeling in our mind, feeling in our body. And it's keeping this gentle awareness. And then we'll take another few moments on this side. With the option to take longer, you can always pause and spend more time if you like. And then as you're ready, you just take the bowl out. You can take a moment to just rest and to observe. Letting your awareness start in the area of your jaw. And then maybe beginning to travel up and down through the left and the right sides of your body. And just for a final movement with the tennis ball, we're going to bring the ball beneath our forehead. And we can just take a quick moment here to massage into the area of the forehead and staying in that comfortable range. And the forehead can also store tension for the body. And often when we can soften the forehead and the jaw, the eyebrows and the eyes along with them, we can add this sense of softening through the rest of the body. And just take a couple of moments to feel into this area. You can really adjust the weight of the head on the ground. You can use the hands, the arms to do this. Just checking in for any final movements, final areas that need some attention here. And then really staying active. From here we will make our way over to lie on our back. So we're just going to turn over and we'll reach our arms overhead and start to lengthen from the very tips of our fingers down to the bottoms of our toes. So just feel for a couple of breaths this lengthening through the whole body. And we're going to let our arms and our legs just drift over to the right side of our mat. You just walk them over. We want to try and keep our back and our hips flat on the ground. So even if it's a tiny movement, it's fine. We'll still feel this lengthening through the left side of the body as the arms and legs move over to the right. So we just find a comfortable position, not too deep because we're going to stay here for a few moments. So just somewhere within that range of comfortable opening for the left side. And as you arrive here again, just starting to let your awareness fall back on the feeling of the breath. If it feels deep enough, stay as you are. If you want to make it a little more intense, then you have the option to cross the left ankle over the right and maybe place the left hand or wrist over the right. Just staying there for a few moments, a few breaths. Maybe scanning through your body with each exhale and noticing if there's anywhere that feels like it's tense or holding. Just inviting it to melt and soften down. And gently we'll start to make our way back to the center. Take a moment in the center. You might want to feel a bit more neutral. You may want to take that stretch in both directions. And then on our next exhale, we can start to let the arms and legs migrate over to the left side of our mat. So we find that opening through the right side of the body. Again, not too deep as we stay here for a few moments. And as you arrive here, just start to draw your awareness into the breath. That sense of softening with the exhale. Again, with the option, if you'd like, to cross the right ankle, the right wrist over the left. Just see what feels right today. Maybe soften in those areas of the forehead and the jaw. Feel the shoulders softening. The little muscles of the fingers and the toes, the hands and the feet. And then gently, we'll start to make our way back to the center. As we arrive at the center, we're going to find that reach in both directions again. And as we reach from fingers to toes, maybe see if you can find a yawn in your body. And if one doesn't spontaneously arise, you can just open your jaw really, really wide. It's the same kind of feeling. We'll just take a few of these. And sometimes that just adds to this extra feeling of lengthening of space in the body. So maybe taking one more. And then gently release your arms to your sides. I'm going to leave you here. You can take the option to have a short rest lying on your back. Or you can use the relaxation video that I have as well if you'd like to take more time to switch off.